When people think about awakening, a lot of it has to do with this idea that you are making a vibrational transformation. Awakening is also about birthing yourself into this reality, into the here and now. Every single time you do a meditation, when you're making the right choices, when you are calling yourself in and doing your spiritual work, you are ever more bringing yourself closer into this here and now through that. The remainder of this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you are able to do to be your own personal midwife so that this can be a little bit more comfortable for you. One of the key ways that you know that you are in the process of approaching a gateway is that you are starting to have different types of physical experiences. Perhaps you are more tired and sleeping a lot after you figure things out. Perhaps you are awake in the middle of the night and having really clear and direct thoughts. Perhaps you are having more headaches or feelings like a swelling in the heart. My favorite sign is that you are feeling tingling in your hands and your feet and other different parts of your body. What each of those signs means is that you are having energetic stimulation that is happening in between the soul body connection. The soul happens inside of us. The whole thing about awakening is, yes, having a shift in your consciousness, but part of how your consciousness shifts is because you are connected to a different part of yourself that informs you differently. And that part of yourself that informs you differently helps to see things different ways. As you are working towards this part where you are able to spark, receive, embody this different layers of who you are as a person or different parts of your vibrational capacity, basically you are also simultaneously turning on the different receiving centers in your body that are going to be able to hold that. Although we have this notion of kundalini awakening, which is really popular in the spiritual community, which is this one whap where energy system turns on, I also want to let people know that there is the potential to have more than one energy system awakening in life, and that I myself have had like 3 or 4 kundalini style awakenings, one of them very recently. The reason I bring that forward is because I think that a lot of people sometimes limit their ability to move forward on the spiritual path because they say, oh, well, I already experienced that thing and therefore I'm not going to experience it again. There are so many different things that you are able to do to make this spiritual actualization process more comfortable. And I'm going to go over tons of tips in different videos. For today, we're going to focus just on the ones that are about helping you get through the threshold. And of those, the most important ones. The first, absolutely most important thing to remember when you are approaching a threshold or working on getting yourself through it is that while there can be a pop moment, it isn't something that automatically happens like that. This is something that can take days, weeks, and sometimes even months to truly experience. It is a process of slowly reaching out, connecting to a part of yourself, and almost gently guiding it back into your spiritual body and into your physical body. And this spiritual physical body part is one of the parts that is most overlooked, but is also the one that, if we do overlook it, can cause us the most grief. Here's why. In order for your spiritual body to birth into your physical body, the physical body has to be a container that it's going to be comfortable for the soul to be in. We live in a world that is high pollution, lots of internet. We also eat unhealthy food and have highly sedentary lifestyles. All of these things make it more difficult for your soul to feel comfortable in the body. And that's why when a lot of people wake up, they have extreme discomfort. It's literally because the body is not clean enough for the soul to fit in. One of the things that you are able to do to help make sure that doesn't happen and thus to erase those feelings of discomfort, which are also some of the signs that you are meeting a threshold, is to begin taking care of your physical body now. And to do it not only just now when you think you're going through a threshold, but to do it pretty consistently as we're walking over these next 6 months to a year, or any other time on your spiritual path that you want to just make sure you're having clean connections to yourself. This is a hallmark of healthy feeling spiritual connection. Ways that you can go about doing that. Eating nutritious food is going to be incredibly helpful to giving you the nutrient dense background that your body requires in order to be able to spiritually grow. Embodying a part of yourself and going through all of the different energy things that you do as that is happening is something that does take up nutrition. And so, as you're going through different parts of your spiritual awakening, spiritual grounding, birthing process, you're probably going to notice that you're ravenously hungry. Eat. Another part of that is that it's really important to give yourself adequate exercise. This is because exercise helps you shift out stagnant energy. A lot of us are carrying energy, stories, spiritual wounds that come from this and other lifetimes that kind of impinge or impede the process of that soul birthing. And or some of us are carrying around a lot of grief in the physical body right now because of things that we've experienced in our lifetimes. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. It's just part of the process of what we experience as humans. And so one of the best ways that you're able to get through these really rapid shifts is to start doing different things to help your body process the excess energy that it might be carrying. So, exercising is one of the great ways to do that, whether it is dancing, going for a walk, lifting weights, jujitsu. Whichever form of physical movement is going to speak to you is going to be the one that's going to help feed your soul the most, because not only is exercise somatic movement, which helps you shift out energy, exercise also helps you spiritually ground and embody parts of yourself, especially if you start having different ideas of connection and understanding during the exercise process or right after it, which is what a lot of people notice. The final tip, and in my opinion, the most important one, is that I recommend you do both A and B while you are spending time in nature. As we talked about earlier in this video, Earth is the key vibrational anchor and gateway point through which we are meant to be actualizing and living our spiritual experiences. Although in a lot of spiritual discourse, Earth connection is looked at as something for beginners or something that you only do when you don't know what else you're doing, the truth is, the more spiritually awake, the more high harmonic spiritual presence you want to live on this earth, the more that you need Earth connection. Earth is the mechanism through which we are able to charge up our physical bodies. Earth is the provider of the spiritual current, aka the telluric current, that is the spiritual sparker that actually ignites us. And Earth also serves as the gateway point through which our souls travel. This is another thing that is a little bit different than sometimes you hear from other people. As a psychopomp, when I'm working on crossing souls, the number one way that it is done is that the souls will go to different places that are high in earth energy, that are spiritually significant to a person, and or that they're able to get to at their regular lives. They will then be intuitively guided or make a plan to go to this place. And then when they are having their fun experiences living and or ideally doing their deep spiritual practice when they get to these places, what they're able to do is pull that part of themselves in and through. And one of the best places that you're able to do that is in places where there is fast rushing water, where you are around ancient rocks and different energy, like in a state park or in a mountain, or when you are sitting with a tree. Trees in particular are one of the best anchor points for the spiritual journey. And so even if you don't necessarily want to go do guided meditations or anything like that, that's totally fine. Doing something like sitting with a tree 20 minutes a day, several times a week, making sure that you are making direct skin to earth contact so that you are plugging into the electron flow and telluric current that covers planet earth, that charges us up. I talked about that in the body soul earth connection video. Check that out here after this one for more on that. What you're going to be doing is helping yourself meet the charge capacity that is absolutely essential in the physical body to get you into this here and now, and or to make that vibrational switch along with planet earth. As we wind our way through the next months, phases, and years, there is much to be learned, grown, changed, and experienced. And part of how we're going to stay grounded and rooted in it all is to come into our spiritual practice, come into our spiritual power, and as I'm going to talk about, to do that through your rooted connection with Earth. This is part of the greatest story that is ever going to be told. And although it can feel hairy, confusing, frustrating, annoying, it is also expansive, educational, inspiring, and for a lot of us, something that we have dreamed about for more than just this lifetime. As a psychopomp, I'm going to be here, but also traveling through a lot of American and European cities as part of this waking up process. If you're interested in receiving guided and grounded guidance on how to walk yourself home, I do suggest you check out my brand new offering, Plugging into the Planet. It's all about the seasonal journey of self connection, and now is the perfect time to start it. I also welcome you to come back for future videos because I will be here releasing the best content I can to get you back home to yourself, which is what this is truly all about. The final thing I have to say is thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you for watching through to the end. And since you're here, I'd love to know your rose and thorn about awakening. What are your favorite parts? What are the parts that you struggle with the most? I'll use those as guides to future content. Thank you so much once again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video, a grounded tree meditation to welcome yourself home with.